I've just arrived into Switzerland to ride the steepest cogwheel train in the whole of Europe. The cogwheel train doesn't even open for the season until tomorrow. And I'm going to be one of the first people to... Oh my God, there's a lizard. Literally sticking his head out of one of those rocks all the way down there. Just there. There's a couple of lizards there. Wow. So if... Wow, look, yes. Look at him. That's wow cool. That's like properly cool. I never even expected that. There's the van, there's tonight's park up. That's where I'll be living and sleeping on my entire trip in Switzerland and wherever I may end up. And what an absolutely stunning view that is. But I have only just got here, so we're going to start off by getting the elephant out of the room. I have just come back from Germany and I am sunburnt. Feel free to roast me in the description. I've sorted the van out ready for the next few nights, so it's time now to go for a wander. Because the cogwheel train doesn't open for the season until tomorrow. That's the name of the place we're at, Stansted, and that's my activity for tomorrow. Mad to think there's snow on the mountains, but it's like 19 degrees at the moment. Well, my path's a bit blocked. I was going to take that path up to the bridge, but we'll keep going down the road. Oh, just look. If anyone knows why that light's flashing away just like that and the cars are still going past, let me know. I'm so confused with some of the stuff I've seen here already. Yeah, we got ourselves some staircase. Let's go and see if this will take us up over the other side of this lake. I don't even think you could call it a lake. It's like a full-on sea. Look at the size of it that side, and then it goes all the way around there too. The weather forecast did tell me that there was a change on the horizon, and that's a change. We are forecast a lot of thunderstorms for tonight and tomorrow. So my theory is, if I can get this cogwheel train up to its altitude of 2,132 meters above sea level, then I should be in the snow, not the rain. It's that mountain directly in front of us, covered in the snow, that we'll actually be going up. And then once we're up there, there's loads of activities to get on with too. Public transport's massive up here. Hello guys. Oh, there's loads of them in this aviary. That cloud's starting to look real brutal, so I think I'm going to head back to the van. I'll pop out later again if it calms off. Literally made it back just in time for the rain to start. That's my spot for tonight now, and that is my view for tonight. Oh yes, it's literally that little village just there we're going to in the morning. You know, when you sort of just take a second to step back and just it hits you, you realise, wow, I'm in the Alps. Good morning. That is the best I have slept in, I kid you not, weeks. A solid 8 hours. We're just in the campervan, in the front, getting it started, warmed up a little bit. It's only a 3-minute drive to get down to the car park. We've got snow on the mountains up there, and we've got snow further down the valley down there, and the clouds just cascading on the mountain. And we're about to go to the car park to get the steepest cogwheel train in the world to the highest elevation that I've ever been to, 2,132 meters above sea level. That's over double the height of Snowdon. And when we get up there, there's a load of little activities we can do too. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. The mountain weather forecast says there's a wind chill of -13, so I'll put the thermal hiking trousers on. I've dug out my big coat. Typical Switzerland, it's raining. There is the train we're going on, and there is the actual train station itself. These subways are a little different to back home, aren't they? I've got to admit, I'm quite nervous about this. It goes to 48 degrees of incline, but it's going to be quite cool. Highest I've ever been in the world. I don't know why that dude's got a pet squirrel though. The nerves, they start settling in as soon as the gate opens and we all start to board. A carriage to myself, or not so much a carriage to myself, but this seat area to myself. There's people all the way down there though.
Welcome to the steepest cogwheel in the world. Enjoy the breathtaking view and stay seated for the entire journey.
So we're on this for around about 30 minutes. We're currently on one of the steepest sections, which is 48 degrees of elevation. No, 48, you know what I mean. You know when you see the signs in the UK where it says 5% and it's really bad and it's steep. We're going to 48, check this out. Can't even see the bottom of the carriage. It's rocking quite a bit, to be fair. There's the carriage in front of me. So we're going to an elevation of 2,132 meters above sea level, which is 7,000 feet. It's going to take half an hour to get up there, and we've only been on for 2 minutes and we're already higher than some of the mountains I was looking up to while I was parked up last night. Why do I keep doing things like this? I know I'm scared of heights. We're going through more tunnels. Oh, look at the view. Wow. 30 minutes long and I'm literally 2 minutes in already. I wouldn't mind that seat all the way down the bottom. They've got some beautiful little scenery down there. This is proper cool. I'm like in a tunnel in the Alps on a cogwheel train going 48 degrees. That's insane. Oh, we're back out of the tunnel now. Oh, the lights have gone off. Oh, this is so cool. I've literally been in the alpine regions for 20 hours, not even, no, 12 hours. I've seen a lizard, which was unexpected, and now I'm going up one of the mountains. The Kulm I'm going up to. Now at the top, you can go back down the other side. There's like long toboggan runs and there's loads of like adventure activities down there. It's closed for the season at the moment, so that's not an option for today. There's a load of hiking up there. Some of the hiking options are closed, some of the hiking paths are closed because of the weather. Oh. Now there is a couple of stops on the way up here. Next stop, and I think we're going to pull into one of those stops now. Oh, we're leaving the station now. It gives me a bit of a showcase on how this works. There's a track in the middle that's got loads of teeth on it, and these trains have got wheels on them with the teeth like general cogs, and that's what pulls it up the mountain. Oh, we're picking up some speed now. Oh wow, I'm going to have to get a seat down on the bottom one on the return journey down, because that looks proper nice. Look, we're going above the clouds now. Wow. I'll tell you one thing, I'd hate to hike up this route. I know there's loads of hiking routes to get up here, but yeah, this one is steep. First little tiny sign of snow up there. Oh, look at that, you can't even see, we're well above the clouds. That's insane. Wow. Oh yes, look, we're in the snow now. We've got some snow. Insane. Wow, it's like frozen waterfalls. That is properly cool. This is like properly cool. Did you see that frozen waterfalls coming down off the glacier? That was insane. Oh, we're coming back out. Wow. Look at it all the way down there. Wow, you can see the trail all the way down there too. The train's taken. Wow. Yep, full white out. I mean, just look at the snow down there. Oh, you can definitely feel the temperature difference. There's the train. The first thing I like to do when I get to the summit and something along these lines is just to have a look around and sort of familiarise myself with what's where. And before I knew it, I found a door outside. Sort of sign for a path. Is the door open? Oh, it is. Oh, so I think there's actually a viewpoint out here. This is insane. Like, it's just like a hotel and fancy shopping areas. Just sort of look at the snow just there. You come up, you've got the, like, it puts Snowdon to shame really with what Snowdon's got. But look at this, all the way through here. This is like properly cool. Does that go up to like a viewpoint? I had a quick look on the map and it said there was a viewpoint thing. This is like properly cool. Look, check it out. You've got a window there. You've got the cloud inside this whole bit like tunnel. You can feel it, you can see it. Look at it coming through. Wow. That's like properly cool. At least the rain stopped. My plan worked. It's gone from rain to ice and snow. Just properly in the clouds. Oh. This is wow cool. So there's part of the old cog system on the old railway, the old pulley system. That looks properly gnarly. And then we come through this way, it's starting to drip on me. So there's another viewpoint just here. Now I'm going to stay up for a bit longer. Oh my god, that's just like, I'll drop you down. Oh, it's just straight down to snow underneath us. Same over this side as well. What? Wow, some of the clouds starting to clear. Frozen waterfall from the glacier down there as well. That's insane. This is like properly cool. I'm going to head up, round, follow this. There's loads more things to do inside. There's another view spot. There's loads more things to do inside. So we're going to have a good old look and see what's around. We're going to spend some time up here, explore, because it's not often you get to come up into the alpine or come inside one of the mountains in the Alps. Wow, you can't see anything. That proper makes my stomach go, that does actually, because you have no idea what's down there. The only thing stopping you is a tiny piece of wire rope. What's around this way? This is like pretty cool. This is bit of a seating area just there, and then that view all the way around there. You can't really see much except for snow, ice. Look at it all the way down there. I wonder what's around the corner. Oh, we've got stairs. Let's tackle these stairs and see what's at the top. I don't know where that's taking me, but this one looks like it goes into another cave. Oh, some big steep steps getting up into here. Oh, right. Oh, metal steps as well. Oh God, I'm knackered. Oh, I should have gone to the cafe for a coffee before I started this. Oh, cool. Looks like we've got a ridge coming up here. I'm sorry, Mum. I know I said I would be safe, but wow. So you've got no view that side and no view that side, but still absolutely epic. I'm gonna go and head back, grab myself a coffee, have a look around down there, and sit down and properly work out what to do up here, because I bet you there's more to this than just what I've done. So there are two sides to this mountain. I come up this side, you can see the cogwheel train track just there. The other side is all cable cars to get down, and then when you get down it's an adventure hub, so you've got the toboggan run and you've got a few other bits and pieces to do down there, which sounds absolutely epic, but because of the weather they're closed. So up here you've got the hotel directly in front of us, so you can come and actually spend the night up here. You can go for that walk just there, which I'd done this morning, went over to another mountain peak just down the road. There's some ladders just there which go up to a summit point up there, which I'm going to go and do now. Restaurants, cafes, shops. There's a posh watch shop in there which baffled me to the most. There's a cool sign down here which you've got to get on camera when you come to places like this. Beside that big ball of snow that's there, you've got the sign. There's the mountain peak we're on. I'm 7,000 feet up, 2,132 metres above sea level. But let's go for a little walk up this massive staircase up to the summit of this mountain. Not that far up, to be fair. That path's closed as well. Out of season it always is. It's mad to think that I'm currently higher than anybody in the UK. The highest point in the UK being Ben Nevis at 1,345 metres above sea level. It would be absolutely mind-blowing if I got to see that view, but if you look up on the camera, that's my view. We're in the clouds fully up here, but I'm not complaining because I've done it. I'll tell you what, I can definitely feel the altitude. It's mad that down at sea level it's 18 degrees and currently right now it's -7 with a wind chill of -15. Cool little seating area there, and look at the view off this side. And we're about to head in towards these mountain range after we've come down from here. It's going to be absolutely insane. So even just talking like that just took the breath out of me. But that's the view from there. Don't get me wrong, you can still see that ridge line and that peak up there. Over this side, absolutely stunning. Kind of. But like I say, I'm not complaining in the slightest. Oh, that's the live webcam. Look at it there. So it randomly keeps moving. Can you look through it? Oh yes, you can look through it and it tells you where all the peaks are. Oh, it's turning again. This model inside kind of does show the cogwheel system, which interested me. It might interest you with the cogs and stuff underneath. You can even see the big wall of snow in the window directly behind. But it was time to get down off the mountain. We've got a long drive to do through the Swiss Alps to tonight's park up, which is going to just be an adventure in itself. One of the things I found throughout my research before coming to the Switzerland region was the laws behind wild camping. It's fully illegal, and they actually have a division in the police department that drive out to catch you, fine you, and the fines are hefty if they catch you wild camping. So I'm not even bothering wild camping until I've built the courage up to at least try it, I guess. What they want you to do is book on campsites. I haven't got one booked, and I'm not going to book one. I'm just going to turn up and hopefully they've got a space for me. But the joy with the campsites and the elevated price, because it is against the law, you have to do it, is they come up with benefits. Things like they'll give you a travel pass for all the public transport within the area that that campsite is located. I'm heading signs for Interlaken, or otherwise known as the adventure hub of the Alps in Switzerland. You can pretty much do anything with the public transport within Interlaken, so that's where we're going. It wasn't long before we arrived and just turned up at the campsite and asked them, I do not have a reservation, do you have space for me? And 9 times out of 10, yeah, they do. It's low season costs as well, so it's a little bit cheaper. Just been to fuel up in Interlaken. It's got a TV screen on there. I was watching a TV show while I was fueling up. It's a cracking way of getting more money out of us, because I totally lost count of how much fuel I was putting in. This is like the adventure hub of Switzerland. Anything you want to do, you can do from here. And there's a lot I want to do. So I figured 2 nights down here, I can extend it if I want to. I've come on to this campsite here. TCS Camping Interlaken. Never heard of them, never thought of anything like that. I literally drove past it and thought I'll nip in and have a little go. Lo and behold, I've paid 65 francs, which works out to be about £60 for a pitch for 2 nights. And it's a cool pitch. I'll show you around this slightly later. But they also gave me a blue card. I didn't know they did this. This gives me free travel on public transport in Interlaken. Now, a couple of the things I wanted to do are up in the mountains where I don't really want to drive my van all the way up there in the snow and the ice and stuff. This will get me the majority of the way completely for free. I'm happy with that. Right, I'm going to go down to the reception and ask to see whether this works on the cable cars, because there's a cable car not far away that takes me up to a viewpoint with a restaurant. The travel pass doesn't give you free tickets, but gives you discounts on a lot of things. I've saved myself 10% doing this. This is going to be the cutest little solo coffee date you've ever seen. 37.40 instead of 44. Onto a funicular railway, met some new friends and got chatting. And off we went up the mountain. This is going to take me to a destination that's the same height as Ben Nevis in a place called Harder Kulm. It's got a restaurant up there. I'm going to get myself a coffee. There's a viewpoint, there's a few little walks. It's getting late, so I don't really want to be staying up here too long. On top of that, it's another form of public transport that puts my fear of heights to the test. And in 10 minutes, I'm now higher than Ben Nevis. Again, higher than anywhere in the UK. And just look at this full panoramic, stunning view. And it gets better the higher we walk. Let's go. Just look at that for a view behind. And yet you still can't see the back of the Eiger, that big mountain range that's frozen solid. But at the end of this path, a viewpoint and a restaurant. What a way to have a solo coffee date. Look at that. Full restaurant, whatever you want. Tourist shop, it's got to be done, I guess. Oh yes. And I'm going to leave you here for this video. We've got some cracking things coming up in the next few videos. So if you are interested and you are enjoying the series, please hit that subscribe button.